The technology of today has made communication much easier, not only domestically, but also internationally. In the future of technology, communication will only become easier. Along with audio, there will be visual communication, and convenience is as easy as having it in your pocket. It's a mobile phone. Along with the technology expansion and continuation of communication, culture diversification will happen throughout the world as cultures merge and divulge among each other. And instant information as far as research and even email, getting a response back from your professor, is within a day now versus sometimes you had to wait until you were going to go to class. How technology is going to affect higher education? Most classes are going to be online. A lot of students have things they have to do in their own time, and it's convenient to be able to access your class whenever is convenient for yourself. It's also saving a lot of resources as far as the gas and the mechanical issues with cars, of driving, commuting. It does save resources. Research is instant, and as people can continue to post their own opinions online, research will only become more and more easy with easy communication among different firms that might be researching the same thing. And finally, I want to hit audio-visual because that's where it's all going to go. Meetings with your counselor, they're going to be through webcams. Meetings with your group is going to be through webcams. It's all going to be from the convenience of your home.
Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm going to be talking about the educational changes that are to come in our future. First, I'm going to start off with the 7 survival skills students should be learning in school. These are stated by Tony Wagner in his book, The Global Achievement Gap. First, he says critical thinking and problem solving are one of the 7 survival skills. Next is collaboration across networks and leading by influence, followed by agility and adaptability. And then we have initiative and entrepreneurialism, followed by effective oral and written communication, and then assessing and analyzing information, and curiosity and imagination. We all learn. This is developed by author Curtis Bonk. These are the 10 technological trends that he calls educational openers, and these are from his book, The World is Open, that he's recently come out with. I'm not going to go through them in detail, but basically a couple of them are concerned with creating and finding information and resources and making them available on the internet. Others have to do with infrastructure for locating and selecting and using the resources and generating ways to access them on the internet. And lastly, there's a few that have to do with involving, participating, and personalizing these resources. What does the future hold? Polly Ann McClure, who is CIO of Cornell University in New York, says teaching will become more outcome-based and student-centered. To be truly transformative, instructional paradigms will have to shift. Students need to feel that they can plot their own academic path. Basically, she's saying students need a reason to be motivated. Students need resources and things that they can use at their convenience, rather than teachers having content-driven material. You know, they don't have to come up with a certain amount of things that they need to go over by the end of the semester. They can go by the basis of the students and what they're capable of learning. And lastly, we have suggestions for the future. Young Zhao, who's the author of Catching Up or Leading the Way, American Education in the Age of Globalization, he stresses the need for increased global knowledge and cross-cultural competency, because nothing is domestic anymore. Everything you do in your future and for now, whether it be for work or school or anything, is usually global. More foreign language skills goes along the same way. You need to know more than just your own language in order to get by in the real world. Digital competence. times are changing. Everything has to do with computers and technology and everything, and it's changing faster than we can keep up with, but we got to be able to keep up with those things in order to survive in the real world. Nurturing of individuals' diverse talents and focus on students' strengths and not just their deficiencies. Rather than having certain material like math, science, and reading being the only basis for learning, we got to focus on things that the students are able to do themselves that are going to make them stand out in their career. And then we have broadened measures of accountability for school performance. And this is basically along the same lines as broadening their the information that they're learning and the classes that they're allowed to take, so that they can be creative and show themselves and develop different skills that not everybody is going to have. And that's it for our presentation. We're going to end with some comments and ideas from Dr. Bob Kimball, who's a marketing instructor here at the University of West Florida. Thank you.
Why are we doing this? If you look at the curriculum that we've got, the curriculum is pretty old. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's time to go back and question, why in the College of Business do we have calculus with business applications? What on earth for?
That's what I wanted to know.
There's no possible reason to have that course being taught by the math department. Makes no sense. No sense. Well, we're talking about that. And yes, there's a course, to have a course in business math and numbers, but we taught in the College of Business. And what are the numbers and the math that you need to know to understand the language of business? Yeah, do that. But even questioning a lot of other foundation courses. Why do we need this? Why do we need that? Why do you need how many accounting courses? Why do you need to take financial accounting and managerial accounting? Why do you need both of those?
Right.
We got a lot of stuff. An MBA program. The MBA basically is designed for you to be a middle manager in a Fortune 500 company. Well, guess what? There are no more middle managers in Fortune 500 companies. So today, probably an MBA ought to be something that prepares you to run your own business, small business, because that's what you're going to be doing with it.
So more hands-on rather
hands-on small
textbook
business
stuff.
Should be a small business program of what do small business people have to be concerned with, as opposed to being a bureaucrat in a big company. To basically an MBA helping you to start up and manage your own organization and run it and understand the agencies you have to deal with and the issues you have to deal with. That's what shouldn't an MBA be that?
Right.
It should certainly not be something getting you to be a corporate person. It's not what our students are going to do, that's for sure. So one of the real challenges is come back and take a real serious look at curriculum. That should totally be different in 15 years. Totally change it. It's already 30 years out of date.
Right.
So we get that up to date. Then when you get in the classroom, what exactly does a professor do in the classroom? We got professors that read PowerPoints. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for you. Why come to class? As people read PowerPoints to you. You've got to come up with something in the class that creates some atmosphere that people say, this did something to me today. I learned something by participating in something and doing something.
Right. We can read our own PowerPoints on the computer.
I don't need you for this. Mm-hmm. And I think this all comes down to a lot of things on faculty accountability. What exactly do you create here of value? And be able to define, this is what you create, this is what you give to the students, this is how much revenue you generate. How much revenue are you generating? Figure out a number of students that you're bringing in there. That's part of the metrics.
Right.
And that's got to be part of it. So, and accountability on that is part of it. And that the courses, a student walks out having gained some skills that they will use somewhere. I think you find in education today, you get students coming out with liberal arts degrees, they can't get a job. They don't know anything. Mm-hmm. They have no skills they can use. Yes, they can analyze Virgil and Homer, that's great. So what good does that do you in the world? There's a real question about that, which is a nice thing about being in business, is to say, you walk out with a major taking my sales class or Keller's logistics class, you've got a skill, you can get a job. And you can go to the job market and be making good money right away. You come out with some nebulous degree, you don't know anything. You're not equipped to do anything. So that's a a point of relevance. And looking at some of these private universities, you're paying $40,000 a year to go to a private school. What on earth for? You get a better education here.
Right.
At 1/10 the cost. I think that's going to come up. Why would you be paying the money to go one of these name schools? What more do you get at the end of the day? I don't think you get anything more.
So you think that'll change the amount of private schools that they're having?
I think I would hate to be sitting in a private school right now charging $40,000 a year when families are not going to have that kind of money to spend on something unless they're getting value for it. And I know people that are sending their kids there who say, well, they'll meet the right people. That won't cut it today. Meeting and knowing the right people doesn't get it. What do you contribute to the value is what's going to get it. So though that old model of taking people to go to the schools, the private schools, even the Harvards, what for? So you met the Kennedys, big deal. Well, I think it's going to be a lot more pragmatic.